What is up, friends? My name is Laura. If you've never visited my YouTube channel before, welcome. Today I am coming to you right from the comfort of my own home, but I am going to be talking about the 5 best waterfalls I have ever seen in my life. So if you don't know me, you don't know my backstory, I will link my Instagram below, but basically I have traveled to almost 40 countries now. I have a very large passion for hiking, and when you hike to awesome places, you see beautiful waterfalls. So I have been to some amazing spots, which allowed me to see some beautiful waterfalls. Not only that, but of course I go places for the waterfalls. So today I'm going to bring you through my 5 favorite waterfalls that I've seen all over the world, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory how you can get there too. I am going to be talking about them right here, as you can see, but then I'm going to be inserting some beautiful clips, all my amazing pictures from that actual spot. So let's get started. So I'm going to be starting with number 5, for dramatic effect. And so number 5, and I'm about to completely butcher some of these names, guys, so I'm going to write it here, and if I ever have a video that I made on my YouTube channel of that specific hike, which there are, I will link all of them below. So the first one is going to be Tres Santos. So basically that is in Pucón, Chile, which is one of my favorite cities, honestly, on this planet. It was so beautiful there. It was just full of so much adventure. You could go whitewater rafting, you could go, I don't even know, I did these zip lining thing. I obviously saw a bunch of waterfalls, and I summited this active, amazing volcano, which I'll even honestly include one of those pictures in this. But basically, I just left straight from my hostel. I walked across town, and then I started walking up this cute little trail, but it was cars could go on it still. And then it wasn't until really the last kilometer that it ended up being an actual trail that you couldn't drive on. It was super crazy though, because I would honestly say I don't even know, 7 different cars stopped and just asked if I wanted to ride to the trailhead, and they just were so used to just people coming down there, and were just so friendly. And I think one of the reasons I loved it was so beautiful. I wasn't expecting it to be that beautiful, and then on top of it, I had brought breakfast with me that morning, and no one was there, so I just sat and had the most beautiful breakfast, beautiful view while I'm having breakfast, and I really enjoyed myself. Of course, there was no fee there, there was no permit required, and it was just super obvious where to go. So I just really enjoyed myself, and that always has now a special place in my heart. So I would highly recommend this if you are ever going to South America, let alone going to Chile, let alone do go to Pucón.
You told me you don't really do commitment, trust me, consider your message received.
So sitting next, we have Delor Falls, and why I love this one is it's just so huge. It's not gushing with water like a lot of these ones that I'm going to talk about, but it's just a really fun experience. So if you're on Vancouver Island, Canada, you can get to this hike. It is the longest or highest, whatever that would be, waterfall in all of Canada. I do love it partly, of course, for that reason, but at the same time, it was just a very beautiful hike. Really, you can only get to it from getting a water taxi or someone to drop you off on a boat, and then it's gonna be a couple days. I highly would recommend continuing from there a few more miles, which is pretty uphill after that, but it's a few more miles, and then you'll get to Love Lake, which is just as beautiful and incredible view. So I will say I'm going to include pictures, but when I was there, I'd love to go back because it was one of the years when there was so much smoke in the air, so you weren't able to see it quite as well. Also, the pictures are difficult because when you see it, you're only kind of seeing one section, so it's kind of well, that just looks like your everyday waterfall, but it's really cool because you're hiking for a full day and you're seeing it on so many different areas. So Delor Falls is on my list. I think it's super cool, and if you have the opportunity, I would highly recommend for you to check it out. The next waterfall that I want to talk about is Kongsi, and I'm super sorry if I'm butchering that, but it is located in Laos in Southeast Asia, which I really love the country. It's a little less touristy than the rest of Southeast Asia, and of course super affordable and beautiful. So it's going to be a little bit more north, but basically for me, I just went right into the capital, and then I just took buses to each of the little cities. Spoiler alert is just that the roads there aren't that wonderful, and for me, I'm someone who gets car sick, and I really didn't, but it was just it was like this stressful time. But I will say that this waterfall totally made up for it. So it was super beautiful. It was kind of touristy, but you could kind of get away from the crowds, which is nice. It's just within the city, and then you literally will be bused there. The water was so turquoise in such a beautiful way. And then there actually were some hikes that I did kind of around it to go to the top of the falls and all of these different things. So I will, of course, add some pictures here, but if you are in Southeast Asia at all, I would highly recommend this beautiful waterfall. So the official runner-up on my list is going to be Mooney Falls. So that is within by Havasu Falls, that entire hike, which is 4 days, 3 nights, and I had one of the most amazing times. It doesn't do it justice, and I know some people are like, oh my gosh, it's just gotten so blown up from Instagram and all of these things, but it honestly was incredible. It was literally just waterfall after waterfall, and Mooney Falls was my favorite. If you keep going, there also is Beaver Falls, which I'll show you pictures of here, but it was stunning, and I had such a good time. It is like moderate to, depending what your fitness level is, you can even like helicopter in, but it's not like a super, like there's no technical parts to it, although getting down to actual Mooney Falls, you do need a rope and stuff, but actually getting there, it's about 10 miles each way, and I'll link all of my videos to these specific hikes below. But each way it was about 10 miles, and half that was pretty flat or just kind of gradual, and I went and I just had the most amazing time. So if you can score permits to that, I would highly recommend it. They do go on sale February 1st. Weekdays it is going to be $300, and weekends it's $350. So it's not cheap, but honestly for me, I'm always I just love adventure. You know, I just think that that's the most fun thing in your life. Might as well live it up. So for me, I'm not spending money on a hotel. I'm not spending money even on a plane ticket to get there, because I do reside in Arizona. So for me, $300, it's not the end of the world, and now I've just had 4 days of endless memories. Here are my pictures and videos from this amazing Mooney Falls. Without further ado, guys, the number one spot that I've absolutely loved in my life is on your way to Mount Robson. So it is going to be within the Canadian Rockies. You do this in 1 day, and you don't need a permit. We actually did it in a multi-day, and we actually were out there for 5 days, and you could continue going further. You could get to Mount Robson, Berg Lake, and you can see all around, and then you can even continue from there. But to actually see this particular waterfall, you would only need to go for the day, don't need a permit. You actually even can bike in halfway there and then continue, you know, and it's such a well-marked trail. It's beautiful, and you can even bring your dog if you're just going for the day. On our way up there, you can see through some of my clips that it was still so stunning, and all the pictures that I saw before were so stunning, but when I actually, it was breathtaking. It's in the middle, you know, of the Canadian Rockies, so beautiful, and it was just like, whoa. But then on the way back down, we actually got literally the most beautiful weather in my entire hiking life, and sitting there seeing that, it was absolutely stunning. You could see Mount Robson on the top there. You could see the sun. It was literally one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen in my life. So that is why this takes the cake for the most beautiful waterfall I've ever seen. And honestly, if I was on my way up there, it probably would have made my list but not been number one, but just because of the weather on the way back down, I just absolutely loved it. So roll the tape. I hope that you guys did like all of my spots. I did want to give a few honorable mentions as well. So if you guys have ever gone through Yosemite, you will know that there are beautiful, beautiful waterfalls all through there. There also is a stunning waterfall just a couple of miles, just outside the little town within Patagonia in South America on the Argentina side. It doesn't cost a single thing. And when I got there, it was actually like empty. And by the time I left, then like kind of a tour group had come in, but it's so stunning and you can just walk right from the city. The third and final honorable mention will be right here in Arizona. There are a couple different ones besides the obvious that I pointed out. There's one that I honestly couldn't pronounce, and I'll put it here, but I also will throw a few pictures in of my dog and I doing it, and it's 4 miles total and just beautiful. And then even within the Grand Canyon, there's a few which is just really fun. Besides, of course, Havasupai Falls. They're just super stunning, and it's really fun with the desert, and you kind of can get that different contrast, and it's really, really beautiful. As you guys can see, I am a lover of the outdoors, the mountains, hiking, and of course the world. So if there are any waterfalls that you guys have left, I would love to hear about them. Maybe they will be next on my list. So leave them in the comments below and I will make sure to check them out at some point. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys, so that you don't miss any of my future adventures. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Keep living life. Bye.